paid for it without looking. The dinner, the trip, the gift, the upgrade, the lifestyle, not because he could afford all of it, because saying no felt more expensive, not financially, emotionally, because in some relationships, money stops being money. It becomes proof. Proof that you care. Proof that you are serious. Proof that you are generous. Proof that you are not falling behind. And that is where the trap begins. This is not a story about being cheap. This is not a story about blaming your partner. This is a story about the financial system quietly running underneath your relationship, a system most people never audit. Welcome back to the Wealth Autopsy. Case file number 5, the relationship trap. The trap that disguises itself as love, loyalty, generosity, and keeping up. And by the time most people notice it, the damage is already sitting inside their bank statements. There are 3 mechanisms running this trap. The first is financial codependency. This is when your financial decisions stop being fully yours, not because someone is forcing you, but because your nervous system has linked money with approval. You feel guilty saving money if your partner wants to spend. You feel anxious saying no to something that would make them happy. You avoid conversations about debt, spending, investing, or boundaries because you do not want to create tension. So instead of having the uncomfortable conversation, you pay, you agree, you stretch. You tell yourself, it is fine, but it is not fine. Because every time you sacrifice your financial future to avoid emotional discomfort, you teach the relationship that your boundaries are negotiable. That is not love. That is financial fear wearing romantic clothing. The second mechanism is lifestyle anchoring. Early in a relationship, you set a standard. The nice restaurant, the weekend away, the expensive birthday, the upgraded hotel, the version of yourself that wanted to impress. At the time, it felt romantic, but your partner's brain stored it as normal. And now, anything less can feel like decline. A cheaper dinner feels like less effort. A smaller gift feels like less love. A simpler holiday feels like something has changed. That is the danger of lifestyle anchoring. You are not just buying a moment, you are setting a reference point. And once that reference point becomes emotional, reducing it feels like rejection, so the lifestyle keeps rising. Not because you consciously chose it, because no one wants to be the person who says, we cannot keep living like this. And that sentence is exactly why so many couples never build wealth. The third mechanism is social comparison. This is the one social media poured petrol on, because apparently humanity looked at insecurity and decided it needed Wi-Fi. You are no longer just comparing your income. You're comparing your relationship, your holidays, your home, your engagement, your wedding, your date nights, your clothes, your lifestyle, your entire life together against highlight reels from people you barely know. And inside a relationship, that comparison becomes twice as dangerous, because now both people feel the pressure, not just am I falling behind, but are we falling behind? So couples spend money trying to protect an image, a nicer trip, a better restaurant, a bigger celebration, a more impressive life, not because the thing is truly needed, but because the image needs feeding, and the image is always hungry. Here is what the autopsy reveals. The relationship trap does not usually look toxic from the outside. It looks normal. It looks like being generous. It looks like being a good partner. It looks like wanting the best for each other. But underneath, the pattern is simple. Every financial boundary feels like rejection. Every spending conversation feels like conflict. Every attempt to slow down feels like failure. So no one says anything. And month after month, 2 incomes come in, but nothing meaningful gets built. No emergency fund that feels strong, no investment system, no serious asset base, no real financial direction, just a lifestyle that keeps asking for more. This is why some couples earn well and still feel behind. Because the problem is not always income. Sometimes the problem is that the relationship has no financial operating system, only emotion, only habit, only expectation, only comparison. So how do you break it? Not with blame, not with shame, not with a breakup, with a renegotiation. The conversation most couples avoid. Not, can we spend less? That is too small. The real question is, what are we actually building together? Because if the relationship has no shared financial mission, the lifestyle will create one for you. And its mission is simple. Spend whatever keeps the image alive. 1. Name the anchor. Look at the standards you set early in the relationship. The restaurants, the holidays, the gifts, the habits, the expectations. Ask honestly,
Do we still value this, or are we just maintaining a version of us that became too expensive? 2. Build a financial boundary system. Each partner needs personal spending freedom, money they can spend without explanation. But the shared future must be protected first. Emergency fund, investing, debt reduction, savings goals, asset building. Those come before lifestyle performance, not after. 3. Create a comparison contract. Decide whose life you refuse to measure yours against. Because if Instagram gets a vote in your relationship, your bank account will keep losing. You do not need to live poorer. You need to live more deliberately. The relationship trap does not destroy finances overnight. It bleeds them slowly, warmly, quietly, through love, through guilt, through loyalty, through fear, through silence, until one day you look at your money and ask, how do we earn this much and still build so little? Now you know. It was not just spending, it was the system underneath the spending. Case file number 5, the relationship trap. Follow and subscribe for more, and don't forget to download the free relationship trap fix in the description below, and watch for the next case file in the wealth autopsy, the escape trap.